Hi, I'm Saida Desilets. In this video, we're going to explore stress incontinence and how to heal it in a natural way through the use of a jade egg. Do you ever wet yourself when you laugh or jump around, or maybe when you're out socializing with your friends and something happens, you gotta rush to the bathroom, or even maybe you have an experience during making love where you feel quite embarrassed and feel like your stress incontinence is a nuisance? When I first started to teach the Jade Egg practice, stress incontinence was probably the most common experience that women would come to me in terms of wanting to resolve as an issue. And I just want to let you know that stress incontinence is not necessarily related to age, because even children who undergo stress can experience stress incontinence. So if you're thinking that it's because of your age that you have it, you need to think again. There are some physical experiences that can cause stress incontinence, some injuries, especially to the pelvic area, some surgeries, and even giving birth. So these are physical ways that we can stimulate stress incontinence to occur. But the biggest culprit for stress incontinence is stress itself. The good news is, when you actually do the Jade Egg practice properly, it addresses both the physiological or physical aspects of stress incontinence and the psychological pieces that come with that imbalance. Before we go any further, however, I want to make something exceptionally clear. We are not just physical beings with physical genitals and physical things. We are also deeply emotional and psychological, and we have a lot of different aspects to our nature. The fact that you are literally a psychosexual being is very impactful to your well-being and your vitality, and it's also great news because it means that we can address many things by looking at both how we're feeling about those things and what to do about it physically. This means that you get to fall in love with yourself, have a new kind of relationship where you deeply know yourself and can treat yourself with newfound sensitivity, which is essential if you want to be successful with the Jade Egg practice. That said, let's jump into some practical ways in which you can heal your stress incontinence. The first thing I want you to look at is literally ask yourself, what is stressing you out? You may or may not be in tune with that yet. And by stress, I mean there's something in your life that's causing you distress. Maybe you're experiencing excess amount of fear, or even a feeling of being frozen or inhibited. There's something going on where you're not feeling free to really express who you are. It's important to give time to discover what that is. And once you can name it, then you're in a position to take some action steps to rectify that. For example, I had a woman who had severe stress incontinence. It came on. She was only 21 years old, but what was happening in her life is that her job was exceptionally stressful, and every time she would go to work, she'd experience a lot of fear, and this is how her stress incontinence developed. What she chose to do was to confront what was going on at work and to ask for what she needed, and this resolved the issue, and then her stress incontinence actually resolved itself. The second part that's really important, whether or not you actually right now have stress incontinence, this is important for everybody, is to empower and strengthen your urogenital diaphragm. This is the part of your body that actually controls urine. So it's known sometimes as the continence muscle. It's a very important muscle in your pelvic floor area. And I'm going to give you a very specific exercise in this video that you can do at home that will help empower your urogenital diaphragm and make it healthy and vibrant. So the practice I'm about to share with you, I share within the contents of a larger classroom. And one particular example I want to share, a little story, is that a student of mine in that class had come with severe stress incontinence. In fact, she was scheduled for surgery because it had gotten so bad. And then after just 1 month of diligent practice with her Jade Egg, she went back to see the surgeon, and he said, well, there's actually no problem here, you don't need surgery. And I've checked in with her, gosh, that was at least 10 years ago, and she still is fine, still has no stress incontinence of any kind, and actually is way more orgasmic than she's ever been. So that's very exciting news. I call this exercise the Windshield Wiper. So what you're going to do is you're going to straighten your legs so there's no bend at all in the knees. Very, very straight legs. You need to pull your toes back quite strongly so the feet aren't flaccid or relaxed. It's really important to feel like your toes are pulled all the way back. And what you're going to do is you're going to very, very slowly rotate your feet in towards each other, keeping that flex all the way in, all the way in, all the way in, and then you'll feel like your big toes are kissing. That's where you stop. And then you're going to rotate slowly, very, very slowly, move your feet, keeping them flexed. You're going to rotate them out. Couple things here. If you go too fast, you're only going to work out your leg muscles. If your toes are flaccid, you're only going to work out your leg muscles. The only way to access that part of your pelvic floor is to make sure toes are pulled all the way back and you move exceptionally slow. And one other piece that'll help you with this is I put my hands just over my pubic bone on that lower belly area, and I focus all my attention inwardly to see if I can sense what's happening with the pelvic floor as I rotate in and out. So give that a try and let me know how that goes for you. Of course, there are many other exercises that you can also do that you can find in my method that will help support you with your stress incontinence and ensure that you actually never get stress incontinence ever again, or if you've never had it. You will want to get your own copy of my free ebook on the Jade Egg. It gives you everything that you need to get started with this practice. I look forward to hearing from you, answering your questions, and seeing you again at thejadeegg.com.